Hello, dear students. Today we'll speak about irony and the ways of its translation. We'll speak about the classical types of irony like antiphrasis, epithrop, parallapsis, self-irony, anti-irony. Besides, we'll mention various types of ironic situation. I mean Q-irony, ironic echo, Socratic irony, plus foreign cuisine, and mystery myth, and some other types of irony. Okay, first of all, we'll start from the definition of irony. Irony is a literary device in which contradictory statements or situations reveal a reality that is different from what appears to be true. There are many forms of irony featured in literature. The effectiveness of irony as a literary device depends on the reader's expectations and understanding of the disparity between what should happen and what actually happens in a literary work. This can be in the form of unforeseen outcome of an event, a character's unanticipated behavior, or something incongruous that is said. When we speak about the most famous examples of irony, surely we should mention such famous American writer as O.Henry. Practically in all his works, in all his short stories, he used powerful irony twists or just irony, some type of irony. And one of the most well-known examples of irony in literature comes from The Gift of the Magi by O.Henry. In this story, a newly married couple decides independently to sacrifice and sell what means most to themselves in order to purchase a Christmas gift for the other. Unfortunately, the gifts they receive from each other are useless. However, they symbolize the deep love they have for each other. On this website, which is mentioned at the bottom, you can watch video material relating to this great short story written by O.Henry, The Gift of the Magi. Verbal irony. We can say that maybe it is a kind of a main variant or main type of irony. Let's take several examples. Telling a quiet group of students, don't scream, and speaker all at once. Coming home to a big mess and saying, it's a wonderful world. Telling a rude customer to have a nice day. Walking into an empty theater and asking, it is jam-packed. Stating during a thunderstorm, wow, so fresh and nice weather we are having. Describing someone who says foolish things as a smart person. Delivering bad news by saying, the good information I have. Irony, which happens in our real life, could be called as situational irony. Let's take several examples. A fire station that burns down. A t-shirt with a Buy Ukrainian logo that is made in China. Marriage specialist divorcing third wife. Sending a Christmas card to someone who is Jewish or Muslim. Going on a blind date with someone who is visually impaired. A police station being robbed by teenagers. Irony is used frequently in literature. It is extremely useful as a plot device. Readers or viewers of a plot that includes irony often call this effect a twister. Let's take some examples of irony in well-known plots. The Wizard of Oz, written by Frank Baum. The characters already have what they are asking for from the wizard. Time Enough at Last, episode of the Twilight Zone. The main character who yearns to be left alone to read survives an apocalyptic explosion but breaks his reading glasses. Oedipus Rex, Sophocles. Oedipus is searching for a murderer who it turns out is himself. The Cask of Amontillado, Edgar Allan Poe. The character Fortunato meets with a very unfortunate fate. Hansel and Gretel, Grimm fairy tale. The witch who intended to eat Hansel and Gretel is trapped by the children in her own oven. In real life, we can come across a lot of examples of irony, and the same relates to history. It is reported that Lady Nancy Astor once said to Winston Churchill that if he were her husband, she would poison his tea. In response, Churchill allegedly said, "Madam, if I were your husband, I would drink it." Sweden's Ice Hotel, built of snow and ice, contains fire alarms. In Germany, eco-activists protesting against pig mass killing were trodden to death by a herd of pigs breaking down the fence. Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury is considered an anti-censorship novel, and it is one of the most consistently banned books in the United States. Many people claimed or believed that the Titanic was an unthinkable ship. There is a hangover remedy entitled "The Hair of the Dog That Bit You" that involves consuming more alcohol. George Bush reportedly said, "I have opinions of my own, strong opinions, but I don't always agree with them." Now let's say several words about the difference between verbal irony, dramatic irony, and situational irony. Though there are many forms of irony as a literary device, its three main forms are verbal, dramatic, and situational. Verbal irony sets forth a contrast between what is literally said and what is actually meant. In dramatic irony, what is happening as far as what the reader or viewer knows is the reverse of what the place or character is supposed to be. Situational irony refers to circumstances that turn out to be the reverse of what is expected or considered appropriate. In Great Britain, a lot of people think that Americans don't understand irony, and some smart people from the UK, they say that the United States is an irony-free zone. And let's take one of the British jokes about irony situation in the United States. J. Fulmer, 38, last month was the first American to get to grips with the concept of irony. "It was weird," Fulmer said. "I was in London and talking to the guy, and it was raining, and he pulled a face and said, 'Great weather, eh?' And I thought, wait a minute, no way, it is a great weather." Fulmer then realized that the other man's mistake was deliberate. Fulmer, who is 39 next month and married to children aged 8 and 3, plans to use irony himself in future. "I'm using it all the time," he said. "Last weekend I was grilling steaks and I burned them and I said, 'Hey, great weather.'" Surely, I don't think that irony is not widespread in the United States because Hollywood is located there, and that's why they have a lot of types of and a lot of variants of irony, especially it relates to ironic situations. Now let's take anti-irony. Anti-irony is a variant of verbal irony when an object of some joke turns out to be smarter than his or her too clever opponent. An example of a joke relating to the city Sleeky and a redneck. A big city counterfeiter decided the best place to pass off his phony $18 bills would be in some small hick Texas town. So he got into his new wheels and off he went. He found a tiny town with a single store. He entered the store and handed one of the bogus bills to the man behind the counter. "Can you change this for me, please?" he said. The store clerk looked at the $18 bill a short time, then smiled and told the man, "I reckon so, mister. You want 2 9s or 3 6s?" Self-irony is also relates to types of irony. It is the ability to laugh at yourself or to take yourself lightly. It is very popular in the United States. Example, in the office we talk about baseball, shopping or fishing, but when we are at the lake we talk about business. Only in America can a pizza get to your house faster than an ambulance. Only in America do people order double cheeseburgers, a large fry and a Diet Coke. So, dear students, we'll finish our lesson. Thank you for your attention. Our next lesson will be devoted to American variants of ironic situation. We'll speak about ironic echo, Q-irony, red irony, mid-mystery, 10 with the 2, comically small bribe, foreign cuisine, ironic birthday, and some other types of irony. Surely all of them will get examples. Thank you very much for your attention. Bye bye, butterfly.